Hello everyone, this is Steve Strong, and I want to have a little talk here, get us all on the same page about what MVC is. Now, MVC is a pattern that's getting more popularity now in website design, and it stands for Model View Controller. Okay, there's a lot of information on Wikipedia about Model View Controller, and it discusses it as an architectural pattern as well as a design pattern. So what I'm going to talk about is why it started, why it's important to use in modern software development, and how we actually got to this point. So, in the early days of the Internet was primarily a database that was sitting on a server. And people would then surf the net by visiting web pages that were designed by programmers. Now, originally these were HTML pages, but eventually they became more advanced. And in the process of building one of these pages, there was actually logic that was processed in the page, and the code was actually behind the actual page. So as websites got more and more complicated, more and more pages got created, more and more pages had code behind them, and the logic got so complicated you nearly had to have one programmer for every one of those pages. Okay, debugging an application became very complicated because the logic was literally hidden back behind the pages. And once you found the logic, you also had to find all the other pages that might be affected by the logic. So making a small change in the database for the logic meant a lot of work for your application. Plus, since the only interface for this application was a form, then it basically has to be tested completely by hand. So that's where MVC architecture came in. Okay. In MVC, we organize the program into its major components: the model, the view, and another entity that's put in between here that I'll call the controller. And I'll represent with the set of people represent a brain. So in Model View Controller applications, you present a view to the end user on their laptop. When they interact with the view, they talk to the model, or to the controller, the C part of the C. The controller. The controller then gets the event that happened on the page and goes to the model to then tell the model to generate a view of the data for the controller. So no logic is in the page. That's a view here. Okay, so now that you have this triad of interaction of model, view, and controller, it's much easier to build the application. One of the advantages of this architecture is that it's testable through automation. You can essentially set aside a test pattern that allows you to have automated validation of your model logic and therefore do code refactoring, which helps you design this whole side of the application faster. And here on the view side, you can generate multiple views for the model. So what that allows you to do is have both a classic ASP view of the model or a RIA web view of the model. It really doesn't matter. These components are entirely reusable no matter how you deploy it, and many of these components are reusable in a rich client application as well. Thanks.